For problems 42 and 44, we're supposed to be writing a piecewise function rule for the graph that's given. So the first thing we want to realize is that we've got two pieces, and when we have two pieces, we're going to have two domain restrictions. And so the first domain restriction we can see clearly would be -1 to 0. So this first piece is only defined between -1 and 0, including the endpoints. The next piece we can see is defined between x equals 0 and x equals 2, but not equals 0. So x has to be in between 0 and 2, not including 0, but including 2. So that's the first thing we'll do. The second thing we'll do is to try to figure out, well, what kind of functions are they? Well, this first function, the first piece of this piecewise function is a linear function. And if we were to extend the line from negative infinity to positive infinity, we could see it would be a line, and we could see that it has a slope. And so when we need to come up with the equation of a line, we need to come up with the slope. And the slope we could see is up 1 and over 1. So just to find the slope of a line, you just go rise over run. From one point to another, if it's linear, you just count up 1 over 1 to get the slope, and so the slope is 1. Then we identify the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0. So we know that an equation of a line in mx plus b form, the equation of this line, if it were to go on forever, would be y equals 1, which is the slope, times x, plus 0, so just y equals x. Since the equation of this line is y equals x, we would put an x right here because the line y equals x is defined between -1 and 0. So that's all you do. So you get the line y equals x, so you take the part of, once you solve for y, you take the part on the right side of the equal sign and you put it right there. Because that's what this function is defined to be on the interval from -1 to 0. And we just repeat that process for the other piece. We could see that the other piece of this function, defined between 0 and 2, is a constant function. And the constant function, we see that the equation of the line is y equals 1. And again, if y equals 1 keeps going forever, then the domain would be all real numbers. But it's only defined on this piecewise function from 0 to 2. And that's it. So there's your definition of this function with both pieces, both domain restrictions, and the graph of it given.